Breakfast in Dorset.
BBC Radio Solent.
Yes, a very good morning. It is Thursday the 8th of February. It's just after 7:05. Now, our lead story this morning, plans to fine rough sleepers in Poole up to £1,000 have been put on hold by the council. After widespread criticism, the council's backtracked on the policy, which it had authorised without any form of scrutiny process. The Bournemouth Echo this morning, picking up its headline, describes the council as a council in chaos. Well, the Lib Dem councillor Mike Brooks says Poole Council is not doing itself any favours.
Let's face it, it's just one thing after another, isn't it? Closure of toilets, 150% increases in car parking charges, another impact, and this is yet another one where Poole Council have made an awful decision without any consideration of the other councillors.
Well, the treatment of the homeless has been a hot topic recently. Bournemouth Council, you may remember earlier this week, they removed controversial metal bars that had been positioned on public benches, which had deemed anti-homeless. We did ask to speak to Poole Councillor Councillor Rampton, who was behind the policy in Poole. She was unable to talk to us, though. We can, I'm pleased to say, talk to the chair of the Poole Labour Party, Katie Taylor. She was one of the key opponents to the policy. Good morning to you, Katie.
Good morning.
Why are you so against this PSPO? The council says it's only responding to concerns by businesses and residents about antisocial behaviour in the town. Aren't they right to do something?
I don't think the homeless are responsible for anti-social behaviour at all. Nobody wants to be homeless. The situation for the homeless is just appalling. They have nowhere to go. I can't imagine what it would be like to not have the safety, the security, the warmth of your own home, and to have to end up on the streets. And as I say, there isn't anywhere else for them to go in Poole. Is just appalling in itself. So to then make out that homeless people are somehow antisocial is, I think, demonising a whole group of very vulnerable people. So to then fine them up to £1,000 just seems completely inhumane. Inhumane to me. I cannot think what's behind it. And I'm not aware that there's any evidence really to support the need for a PSPO about antisocial behaviour in Poole. Nobody wants antisocial behaviour, but there are already laws to deal with people who are behaving in an antisocial way.
It seems local authorities, not only in Dorset, Katie, but right up and down the country, are struggling to know what the answer is to best help homeless people to eradicate the antisocial element of it, if you like. What would you say is the best approach?
Homes first. Everybody needs a home. Homeless people need to be found their own accommodation, and Poole Labour Party have done some research. Our housing officers have looked into this, and there are over 400 empty residents in Poole, empty houses in Poole that have been empty for over 6 months. So to make out there isn't enough homes for everybody in Poole is incorrect. And if energy was put into looking for homes for people and housing people rather than criminalising people, then we could have a solution which
Sure.
Gets people off the street and provides them with safety and shelter.
Katie, we spoke to one solicitor in Poole earlier this week. Now, she had a drug dealer operating outside her offices on her own doorstep. Surely she's right to want something to be done about that, isn't she?
Absolutely. I'm not talking about drug dealers. I'm talking about people who are homeless. We cannot tar everybody with the same brush, and I'm afraid this is what the PSPO does, and this is what some of the language around homelessness also does. This idea of drug dealing, this idea of professional begging. There are people who are in absolute desperate need.
So are you suggesting then that the homeless element should be removed from this PSPO when it goes back for discussion later this month and eventually goes to Cabinet in March?
Absolutely. Take out the homeless clauses, please. Absolutely. You need to, you of course need to prosecute people who are drug dealing. No one's saying that. Goodness me, Poole Labour Party aren't saying that if you're selling drugs outside somewhere, that there shouldn't be consequences for you. But how does that fit in with being homeless? Okay,
Katie, the Bournemouth Echo this morning is describing the council as a council in chaos. Would you go that far? And what damage has been done to the council's reputation over this?
I think I might have used that quote actually with them yesterday when I spoke to them. So it's nice to hear that they're quoting my words.
Okay.
Absolutely chaotic. Firstly, the consultation wasn't widely publicised, okay? It's on the council's website, but unless you regularly look at the website, I don't know how people were supposed to know that this consultation was actually going on. So we did a lot of work as Poole Labour Party to try and spread the consultation of these PSPOs far and wide. Otherwise, I think it would have just gone completely under the radar. Secondly, to have these meetings in complete secret, it just isn't democratic. It's not public. It's not democratic. I think it's insulting to the people of Poole to not be completely out in the open with what you're doing, and then to think that they didn't actually even take this to the full council to discuss again out in the open. And we forced the council to publish the results of the consultation. They weren't even going to do that.
Katie, you've made your point very well. Unfortunately, we were unable to get Councillor Karen Rampton on this morning. Maybe if Councillor Rampton is listening at breakfast in Dorset this morning, she could give us a call to give a response on 0345 900 1038. But thank you very much to Katie Taylor, the chair of the Poole Labour Party, joining us there. And just to remind you, the next time this PSPO will be discussed is on February the 26th at an overview and scrutiny committee, and it'll then go for before Cabinet so that members can decide whether to ratify and make this proposed order, make it a statute, if you like. So it